Well, it's now time to take a look at what liberals are posting on TikTok. Let's welcome in Sofia Carbone. She is the editor-in-chief of the Bucalupo. Now, Sofia, tell us about how liberals are feeling about the potential overturning of Roe versus Wade.
Well, Emerald, it's about as you would expect it to go, although I'm sure some people have seen some clips circulating Twitter, and I've pulled some for you, where these people are not just upset about their supposed right to an abortion, but they are all out waging war on babies now, saying that they do not care about the life of a baby, saying that it isn't a life, that they are is willing to go so far as to hurt themselves to take care of a child if they don't have access to abortion. It's getting more and more ridiculous with each day since the leaked draft from the Supreme Court. So here's a compilation of a few different TikToks that demonstrate the craziness.
Raise your hand if you've never felt threatened by a trans woman but feel threatened by ignorant male legislators every single day.
This blatant attack on women's reproductive rights is an attack on our religious faith as Prismatists. We have 7 tenets of faith, and our 6th one includes the right to medical reproductive care. And I, as your high priestess, am here to tell you today that we will never stop fighting for your right to a safe abortion, because abortion is health care. And it's included as your right in our religion.
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when life begins. It doesn't matter whether a fetus is a human being or not. That argument is a red herring, a distraction, a subjective and unwinnable argument that could not matter less. It doesn't matter whether we're talking about a fertilized egg or a fetus or a baby or a 5-year-old or a Nobel Prize winning pediatric oncologist. Nobody has a right to use your body against your will, even to save their life or the life of another person.
You know, Sofia, first off, I'd never heard of a Prismatist or that religion. And secondly, I think that in them becoming unhinged, they're actually just being more honest. You know, they're telling exactly how they really felt and have always felt. They really don't care about life in general, especially the life of babies.
No, they have shown their true colors, their true Prismatist colors, apparently. But these people on TikTok claiming to be high priestesses, claiming to just not even, the woman said, I don't care if it's a grown adult. No one has the right to make a decision about your body. And they're just going all out,
Yeah.
as you said. They're showing who they are.
Yeah, I mean, I was particularly appalled when she mentioned a 5-year-old because, I mean, that is how far they seem to be moving these days. And I knew those would be bad considering how unhinged a lot of the politicians are. And speaking of such, I have a video for you that I want your reaction to, especially as a young woman who does, you know, we're in totally different age groups. You have your whole future ahead of you. And let's turn now to the Vice President of the United States. Kamala Harris took this opportunity to get on stage and yell in favor of killing the unborn. Listen.
Well, we say, how dare they? How dare they tell a woman what she can do and cannot do with her own body? How dare they? How dare they try to stop her from determining her own future? How dare they try to deny women their rights?
And yelling apparently paid off for her, Sophia. Yeah, Politico is now saying she's the front runner for 2024.
It's getting crazier and crazier. And to have, you know, a woman vice president, second in line to leading the free world, who's allegedly a role model to young women, to say these things is just appalling. And to be honest, it doesn't really matter if you are pro-life or pro-choice. To have her getting up there and preaching about something just that's factually inaccurate. It's not your body. It's a fetus inside of you. It is a human being inside of you. She's making it seem like tomorrow that Roe v. Wade is overturned and you're going to be thrown in jail if you even think of having abortion. That's the rhetoric that these people are spreading. They're trying to use fear to move votes for the midterms. That's what this seems to all be about. it's about policy. She talked later in the speech about legislators and how we have to make sure we're electing pro-choice Democrats. And that's the hill they're willing to die on. They're willing to die on killing faith. That's where they have laid out all their cards for the midterms. And I understand why they're doing it. It is an emotional argument. You get these young women that have their lives ahead of them, and a pregnancy can be scary for them, and it can be a difficult situation to tackle, especially financially in this economy. But they're really using fear as a motivator to try to turn out votes for the midterms, for the next general election, as you said. With they're putting her as the front runner now, that she, you know, they don't let men have an opinion on abortion. They don't want them to talk about it. They tell them they can't talk about it, but they also can't define what a woman is. So it's the party is just
Right.
being pulled in 20 different directions. They have no sense of congruency in any of their arguments, any of their talking points, any of their stances. And Kamala is just exemplifying that.
They finally can define a woman in this scenario, ironically. But I have to ask you, because, I grew up in a generation where, clearly post Roe v. Wade and the implications of that for my generation. But then you have almost grown up in a different generation in which not only has it been, allowable, but it has been pushed so incessantly in the media. You have starlets in their 20s saying, "Oh, well, I would never have gotten here if I had not had an abortion," and just the media campaign that has particularly been thrown at women of your generation. What do you really hear from women in your age group? Do they feel, are they overwhelmingly pro-choice? Do you feel it's split? Where is the public opinion in your demographic at?
Honestly, Emerald, it's kind of been all over the place over the past few years, ever since Kavanaugh, when I started getting vocal about it on social media. And I was hearing things. A lot of people were actually pro-abortion, pro-organizations like Planned Parenthood, not just in defense of abortion, pro it. They are, the media is borderline encouraging it. Young people are borderline encouraging it. Some women that I talk to, they themselves are pro-life, but they are still pro-choice in general. They think that every woman should be able to make that choice, which I don't really understand their lack of communication with that argument. But there's a big group of young women who actually feel that abortion is normal, that it's okay, that it's regular. And you do see the promotion of these posts of women that are like, "Oh, I've had 21 abortions," the crazy protesters with shirts that say that. And it really isn't helping. They're trying to normalize it. They're trying to make it an everyday thing. And all these organizations are pushing these safe sex tactics, which are usually not very reliable, to try to get women it seems like, at least, to try to get women to engage in sex and more likely end up having to have an abortion. It's a real pro-abortion culture amongst younger women, and it's quite horrific.
I agree. It saddens me. I wish that we more promoted the sort of idea you can have it all, being a mom, but also having career, education. And I've seen some of that in Poland, but it just hasn't translated over here to the United States. And it's really sad, because I would think that would be more feminist and more empowering to women, is, you can be a mom, because being a mom is a really special gift, and you can still have a career. You can have education. So it's unfortunate. But thank you, Sofia, for coming and talking with us about it.
Thank you, Emerald.